Hey everyone, it's me, Shauna, and I'm just going to apologize before we start the video. One thing, I have my cat in my room and she's very noisy, and then I'm just going to apologize for this background because I am in the process of unpacking everything I just moved. So yeah, anyways, so I'm sorry this lighting may also be very awkward. I'm filming this kind of later in the day because I had things going on today and I just didn't have time to film it. Anyways, basically this video is going to be about why I quit Starbucks. Now let me start off by saying that I'm not going to be saying any names. I'm also going to be kind of trying to basically not put any of my coworkers under the bus too much. I don't know if that makes sense. I worked at an actual Starbucks store, so it wasn't one that was like in a Target or a kiosk. And yeah, so let's just get started. So basically, I've been a partner for about a year, over a year and a half. I just quit about a month ago. And I used to love my job. When I first started there, everything was awesome, everything went according to plan. I thought I had the best job ever. So when I was hired at Starbucks, I was hired under a different manager. Let's just give her a name, like Jessica or something. So I was hired under Jessica, and the manager that I left with, I'm going to give her a name, say Denise or whatever. So I was hired under Jessica. Shortly after I was hired, I think about 3 months later, Jessica left the company to go on to her coffee break, which is basically just a year break from Starbucks that people get if they've worked for the company for 10 years. So anyways, then Abby came in and she was running the store and everything, and the way Jessica ran the store was very nice. Everything went according to plan. Everyone got along with each other. It was just a really great time. I felt welcome there. Everything just was really nice. It wasn't hectic. It wasn't, anything bad. Things started to change when Abby came to the store. Now let me tell you, I had high hopes for this new manager. She was very nice and very, very friendly, and her and I were actually kind of friends and stuff. I kind of thought of her as my second mom. That shortly changed after a while though. So let me just start off by saying that the management at my store was complete crap. My new manager, Abby, didn't know how to run a store at all. She was very all over the place. She didn't know how to she didn't really know how to run a store, and because of that, a lot of people were leaving the company after working with Starbucks for 5 or 6 years. So it was kind of weird, how all these veteran Starbucks employees were just suddenly leaving after she started. So here's the things that Abby did to me personally. Now, she would promise me certain things, like certain days off, or I really needed health care. And she said, oh yeah, I'll schedule you 20 hours per week to make sure you got your health care. Now, that never happened. For the first couple weeks, she would schedule me 20 hours or more. But shortly after, I'd get my hours cut to 8 hours a week or 12 hours a week, which doesn't make it for health care benefits. Certain days off that I would ask, she wouldn't give me, especially if I actually really needed it. And it sucks. I remember one time that my grandma was in the hospital and I requested a certain day off because I needed to be with her for her surgery, and she basically didn't give it to me off, and I had to find another employee or one of my coworkers to come take my shift for me. It's kind of, that's happened to me plenty of times, and it's kind of if you don't kiss my manager's ass, she won't give you certain things. And same way with, if you make her angry, she will retaliate against you and do things where it's hard to work. for the company, and it just really sucks. Another thing that I was promised by my manager, Abby, was I was hired as an opener. So that's a shift. I would have to be at Starbucks at 4:15 in the morning. It worked best with my schedule because I was going to school full-time then, and it just worked with, my schedule. Now, after Abby came in, she basically kicked me off as an opener and kept me as a morning person. I told her time and time again that did not work with my availability, that I was hired as an opener and I was promised this position. She just basically said, oh, well, I can't give it to you. I've already hired other people for it. And I never understood that because right when an opener would leave the store, I'd be like, oh, I want to be an opener, like that's what I wanted. And she'd be like, okay, yeah, we'll make you an opener. But then like a few weeks later, she hired someone else as an opener. And it went on for about a year. And then I talked to my district manager and I told him, hey, I was promised as an opener and I'm not getting that position. I need, those are my availability hours and she's not giving them to me. Then I finally started to get the actual hours or position I was approved for. The manager didn't like to associate with our customers, our regulars. My store is very made up of regulars. Our whole store, I want to say 90% was made up of regulars. Now, our regulars loved it when my old manager, Jessica, ran the store. She was amazing at everything. She'd go out and associate with the regulars. She would, just go out of her way to make sure our regulars felt home. That wasn't the case with Abby. Abby did not care about the regulars. She basically was kind of like, she didn't treat them like family like how Jessica did. And because of that, our regulars were very upset about it. I've realized within the past 6 months, we've lost over half of our regulars because they didn't like how our store was ran anymore. They couldn't stand it. You barely saw Abby come out of the back room. She was hardly ever on the floor. We would have a line of 20 people and only 4 people working where there was supposed to be 5 or 6, and she wouldn't even come out. She would always say, oh, I'm busy back here, but there's been times where I've walked back into the back room and caught her on her phone playing Candy Crush. And that's the thing that irritated me the most, was that she didn't care about us. She didn't care about the customer experience, because customers who want their coffee, they want to get in and get out. They don't want to wait in these long-ass lines, and I'm one to be like that, too. She just didn't care. She didn't care about anything. She just wanted to sit in the back and do whatever she was doing in the back. Another thing that she would do is scheduling would take, scheduling, she had one day for scheduling. And she wouldn't finish her schedules on that day. She would just take it out for weeks. And that's what she was claiming she was doing in the back room whenever she wasn't out on the floor with us. She's like, oh, I'm doing schedules. Her schedules are only supposed to be done within a day, not a whole week, a day. Yeah. So let's get on to coworkers. Now, I loved my coworkers. They were amazing to a certain point. I don't talk to any of them now because they're backstabbing, and I thought I had friends, forever friends, but apparently not. Anyways, that's not what this is about. A lot of my coworkers would come in after partying and after doing drugs and stuff, and they'd come in the next day still hungover or still drunk, still on drugs and stuff, and I thought that was absolutely ridiculous because, if you're still drunk or still on drugs, you can't do your job correctly. And there was so many times where that would happen, and I'd be working and I'd have to end up doing 2 jobs at once or 3 jobs at once because these people they were just so, I don't know how to put it, they were so drunk or still on drugs that they couldn't do their job efficiently. We had a lot of partners do no-call, no-shows. These partners who are still working there to this day, which I don't understand. Anyways, They would do multiple no-call, no-shows, which severely impacts the rest of the crew because one person doesn't show up, we're all screwed. We're all screwed. It's horrible. And it would happen frequently. Like, I want to say it happened at least once a week where someone would do a no-call, no-show. Now, my manager, Abby, she never wrote these people up. But it's funny because the one day that I was late, or there's like a day that I was late like 10 minutes. And mind you, my other coworkers were late all the time. And it wasn't late like 10 to 15 minutes like me. No. It was late to like 30 minutes to like 2 hours late. And anyway, so like the couple of days I'd be late for like 10 minutes for a legitimate reason, Abby would go and write me up. Now, I don't understand her logic behind that, considering I was a really good partner. I was a really good partner to the point where I won Partner of the Quarter. And it just kind of pissed me off because all these people who've done 3 or 4 more no-call, no-shows, they would never get written up, and after 3 no-call, no-shows, you'd think they'd get fired. Now, I don't understand why they didn't, but it's none of my business. And another thing about coworkers, so here's the thing about Starbucks. So there's about, I want to say like a maximum of 20 people working there. And because of that, you are a very close-knit group of people. I've heard from other partners at different stores where, you know, they try and come in, they're first employed, and the team that's already bonded together have completely shunned them. They want nothing to do with them. Now, that was kind of the case for a lot of newcomers into my store. A lot of my coworkers would not give them the time of day. They treat them like crap. They basically, I remember there was one time where this new girl started at my store, and a certain group of coworkers that I was friends with, they bullied her so bad to the point where she left within 4 days because she just couldn't handle it anymore. Now, another thing with my coworkers, this was just from my store, but basically, if you weren't in the clique, if you weren't friends with someone in that store, they would basically try to kick you out of Starbucks. They would try to make you leave. They would try to basically bully you out of your job. I've seen that happen plenty of times, and I have to admit I was part of it because I was so brainwashed and so wanted to have friends, and I wanted to be part of this team, which I don't understand. Like, looking back at it now, I'm kind of like, why the hell would I ever want to be a part of that? Because that goes against everything that I'm for. But anyways, they just bully people out of their jobs. They didn't like you, they would definitely tell you. They would definitely be like, oh, you don't know how to do this right, you don't know how to do that right, you're horrible, and blah, 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 blah. I've seen plenty of people leave that store because of the bullying. Starbucks tried to say that there were no labor cuts, but there clearly was. For our rush time, which is between like 7 to 9 in the morning, we're supposed to have about 5 or 6 people on the floor. Now, because of labor cuts, which Starbucks claims to never have cut our hours back, instead of having 5 to 6 people on the floor, we'd have 3 to 4 people on the floor. Now, my store was very high volume. We had a lot of people coming in and going out. And constantly we'd have lines of 20 or more people. And because we only had 3 or 4 people on bar or on the floor, we constantly were getting yelled at. We were getting called names by customers, saying that, you know, this is a BS store, and like, you guys are super slow. And there was plenty of times where I've gotten yelled at because of a cup of coffee. Yeah, a cup of coffee. These people, I swear to God. Another thing too, Starbucks claims they have health benefits, they'll send you to college, but the thing is, they will not send you to college or give you health benefits if you're not working over 20 hours a week. And how they get you on that is my store, and along with other stores, they hired so many people to the point where there was no chance you were getting 20 hours unless you were a supervisor or the manager. Now, when I first started there, my manager, Jessica, told me I would be able to have a free ride to college. I would have, free health benefits. Well, not free, but health benefits. And that's, like, one of the reasons why I wanted to work there. Now, within the entire year and a half or more that I've been working there, I never once got free health care. I never once got health benefits. Never once got a free tuition to school. So from the time that I was working with Starbucks at that store, which was a year and a half or more, I can't remember, I've seen about 20 or more partners leave that store. Now, that is the highest turnover rate that that district has ever had for a store. 20 people in a year and a half leaving the store. And by the time that I left, 6 people have left that store. 6 people in 2 weeks. Now, you'd think that, something's going on, because 6 people, including 2 people who have worked with the company for over 2 years, they've left. Like, that, I don't know, it just, if I was a district manager, if I was a manager, I'd be like, that doesn't sound right. So I forgot to film a clip last night that I really wanted to put into the video, so I just decided to film it today. Excuse my bare face, and my hair's kind of a mess, but it was a mess before anyways. Yeah. So my last 2 days of working at Starbucks, I was supposed to come in on Saturday and Sunday. So I came in on Saturday. I came in the time that I was supposed to be there. I was about 10 minutes early. I walked in, and everyone was kind of looking at me weird, and I was like wondering why. Well, I walked back and saw the line sheet for people who were working that day, and my name was crossed off the sheet for both days. My manager basically replaced me with someone else. Yeah. So she never texted me, never called me, never let me know that I wasn't supposed to be working that day. So, or either day. So I wasted all my time to all my gas and all my time to go down and make sure I was at at my job at the right time. I live about 20 minutes away from the store now, and so that's quite a lot of gas, especially since I'm going over a hill. So yeah, I basically wasted my gas that day, and it made me so mad because she didn't even bother to text or call me to let me know I wasn't supposed to come in those days. It just irritated me so much, and after that, I completely talked to my district manager. I waited 2 hours after I was off so I could talk to my district manager, and told him everything that I thought about that store. And the thing is, he did say I was, welcome back anytime with the company. But after this video, I don't think that's gonna be happening. But I really could care less, because I don't think I'd ever want to work for Starbucks again after that experience. It just left such a bad taste in my mouth. Anyways, yeah, coworkers. So for everyone who's thinking that I'm not allowed to go back to Starbucks, I was. Not now anymore, though, because of this video. But there's been rumors going around that I'm not allowed to come back to Starbucks ever again, and that's completely false, and I just think it's hilarious that my old coworkers are still talking shit about me. Move on with your life, boo-boo. Anyways, I'm a go because I look like trash right now. But yeah, so that's basically all I had to say on my experience with Starbucks. Now, like I said, Starbucks it's not really the whole company, except there are parts where the company kind of screwed us over. It's more of the store that you're working at. The store that I worked at was complete horrible crap. I tell people don't apply for that store because it's a train wreck. I've heard people, regulars, say they don't want to even come into that store because it's such a train wreck there. But you know, my store was horrible. But there's other stores and that I've heard have been completely great for certain partners and stuff. So this is just my experience on my store. Starbucks isn't a bad company. They're not bad at all. Certain stores are. And that's what happened to me. Anyways, thank you so much for watching and for listening to me rant. I just thought it had to be said. Because this was completely ridiculous. Like, this is probably even worse than my experience at Kmart, and I thought Kmart was a horrible job. Anyways, well, thank you guys for letting me rant, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you so much. I love you, and goodbye!